A Vort from the Rebbe on this week's Parsha, Parshas Reeh. In Parshas Reeh, one of the psukim is, Hashem says you should keep all the mitzvahs, and the Lashon is, V'etz mitzvahsov tishmeiru, you should keep the mitzvahs, and then the pasuk finishes off, Obey sid bokun, and you shall cleave to him, you shall connect yourself to him. And from the order of things, the way the Lashon of the pasuk is, seemed like the Obey sid bokun, you should cleave, connect to him, is higher than keeping the mitzvahs. Because first it says keep the mitzvahs, and then it says Beis Bokum. Now, based on what the Chazal say, Beis Bokum refers to things that we're not directly commanded to do. Mitzvahs tishmeiru means things that we were commanded. Mitzvahs, the word mitzvah means commandment. So you should keep the mitzvahs. And then in addition to that, which is after that, greater than that, is a Beis Bokum, connecting yourself to Hashem through things which are not directly commanded. And l'chura, what does that mean? How could there be something greater than keeping the mitzvahs? Where could you connect yourself to Hashem more than doing the mitzvahs? We know what it says in Chassidus, the word mitzvah, besides has the meaning commandment, it also has the meaning of tzav sevechibur, which is connection. So when you do a mitzvah, you connect yourself to Hashem. So what is it that afterwards, the Beis Bokum, things which are not directly commanded, there you get more connection to Hashem. What does that mean? And the Rebbe explains, yes, there is something there when you do something that you know Hashem is happy with, and Hashem would like you to do it, even though He didn't command you, that there's something more there. Now, in truth, as far as Allah is concerned, most important thing is to do the mitzvahs. More important than doing anything that's extra beyond the mitzvahs, even though they're good deeds and Hashem is happy, etc., etc. You have to do the mitzvahs. But nevertheless, in a certain aspect, doing something that you were not commanded to do shows more your connection to Hashem. When you do what you're commanded, after all, you're commanded to do it. So first of all, you're doing it because you have to do it. You're commanded to do it. Not necessarily mean that it's part of you that you really want to do it. You have to do it. Also, you have an extra koyach of Hashem to be able to fulfill the mitzvah, because if you command it, Hashem commands you, gives you an nesinas koyach, we call it a special energy and a koyach that you're able to do it. But when you do something that you're not commanded to do, and nevertheless you do it, so if you're not commanded, you don't have to do it. You're only doing it because that's what you want to do. So you're involved more in it. And you don't have that extra koyach that Hashem gives you by commanding you to do it. The connection that Yid has to Hashem through doing extra, which means lifnim mishura sadin, there's things that you're not commanded to do, but you know that that's the right thing to do because Hashem wants you to do it. You have proof and you know that that's the right thing to do. Then you are connected more to Hashem. It's the real you is involved because you're doing it because you want to do what gives Hashem pleasure. And the mashal that's given next to this is from an eved, a servant of a man that does everything that the master wants him to do. He's an eved neman, he's a good servant, trustworthy servant. But then there's a higher level, a servant who not only does what the master tells him to do, but things that he knows would give the master pleasure, he does that too. That's the real eved. That means that's the real giving yourself over to your master. So Yid, by doing that, gives himself over to the Eibishter even more. That's why there is more Tidbokun. So as far as the mitzvah itself is concerned, certainly the mitzvah is more important than the extras. But as far as how much of the person is involved, is more in the extras. And the Rebbe says even the extra Vort. When the person does a mitzvah, it means that the Eibishter is the mitzvah, the Eibishter is the commander, and you are the one that receives the commandment. So as much as you connect yourself to the Eibishter by doing his mitzvah, there still remains a division between the two. He's the commander and you're the commanded. So you connect, you're doing what he wants, but he still remains two separate, they remain two separate entities. But when you do something you were not commanded and you connect yourself, so they're not two separate entities. The connection is really that you become one with the one that you're giving pleasure to, because he's not in the level of commander, because he never commanded that you do. It's a very deep opinion, but in there lies some very strong connection, and that's referred to as a Beis Bokum. That's where the dveikus to Hashem comes, as far as the person is concerned, more when you do things that you were not commanded, but you know that the right thing to do, that there is more dveikus to Hashem.